Hey guys, welcome to the reading. I have tried to make an introduction, to record an introduction. I'm just realizing I'm better at the cards than an intro. So forgive me if I don't have a lot to say before the reading, but I hope that you are well, and I hope that whatever you find in this space is helpful and gives you something that you need, because that's the same reason that I come to it. I pretty much just read for myself and record it, and if it helps anyone else, that's great. And if it doesn't, it's still helping me. So without further ado, let's get into it. There could be a family gathering coming up. Not really sure what that's trying to talk about. It could also just be that time spent around family moving forward is going to have a more relaxed feel to it. There's also kind of there's a vibe here that's what you're trying to manifest, or that's what you are, have your sights set on. So maybe this is where you're only spending time with people who feel like you can relax around them, and where you're not really, maybe literally not talking to people who don't do that, but just being very quiet and removed. I also see you not involving yourself in something. I wonder if this is if a family member asks you to do something, you might feel a little bit like there might be this hesitancy. I don't know if you're still helping them because you want peace, because you want harmony, and you want to build this calm space with family. And this is how you're doing that. But it does seem like there's something coming up where you're either going to be very emotionally detached from a person because you can see kind of unhealthy patterns in them. And I think that I think you can see that whatever they're trying to do, they bring a lot of anxiety with them into that space. And then they ask you to help. And then you're kind of okay, I'll help. And then it's just a flood of anxiety. So it's almost you see that they're not dealing with their stuff. You try to move forward and help. And then you get hit with all of their undealt stuff. So it just looks like there's some kind of a wall to a person like that. Other than that, though, I feel like your heart space is really open. You seem very hopeful about what could be. You seem like there is a an overwhelming desire to create an environment, whether this is like at home or within family dynamics, that is the place that you heal in. It's not the place you need recovery from, you know? And what that tells me is that you're trying to keep your heart space open by protecting it and putting up a guard when you recognize someone else isn't going to be able to do that for you, because they can't see past that they're not able to do that for themselves. And to be honest, it feels like you've been feeling crazy by trying to like keep everything at bay but still be in it, you know? But I think what might actually bring a lot of peace to define and understand for self is that like this is just you standing up for yourself in a more like action related way, and using your intuition and letting your own morals and values and whatever like wants to flow within you that creates a space for people, including yourself, to bloom. That's something that you're actively pursuing. It just might feel like someone else doesn't see it that way, so they're unable to like support you in that. And maybe at times it feels like they're kind of tearing that down, or maybe it feels like they're disrespecting your time, they're disrespecting your space, your energy, your goals. You know, like your freedom to choose, like that it's a choice to help this person, and that, you know, maybe if you're someone with limited time who like just chose to help, that they might not be seeing how much you have to set aside to like make time for them, and also like prepare emotionally for kind of a flood of whatever they have going on that you kind of already know it doesn't create like a very healthy space for you. So I do feel like you're trying to be loving. You're very open and like supportive of the people that who create this space with you, who've shown you that they benefit from it, they want to help cultivate it, they thrive in it too. And you're very loving but closed off to other people who don't reciprocate that, which I think is a very healthy space to be in, because it just shows that like you still want to be you. You don't want to just like, you know, cut ties because you feel unsafe or something, that you found a way to be yourself, and kind of like see that through in all situations. And I think the reason why I'm saying that is because it's not on the table, but there is like a heavy sense of guilt or something along that feeling, where you might feel guilty that you're closing off certain people to your energy, which also might indicate that you were more open to sharing it before. Just what you've done is you've learned to set a boundary. And in a very like I'd like to give you credit for this, because I think it's an ingenious boundary, because you don't actually have to say it and have the other person accept and understand and reciprocate it, or show you that they value it too. You just are in full control of that boundary. The decision is yours in any moment of the day. And you might come to a point where you just have to tell this person no, and that would be okay too. You know? I think you might slowly be getting to that point. Who knows? but you're definitely, I see like soul growth here. I see someone who's willing to stand up for themselves and vouch for themselves and validate their own needs and identify when someone is hindering that progress, external of yourself. So yeah, I feel like kind of a moment of just soaking that in and feeling good about the decisions that led you up until this space, or up until this growth. It might seem small to someone else, but I do think that it seems quite big to you. You also have the Six of Cups here. This is like overall energy of this situation might be that there's a lot of like you've experienced this person for quite some time now. It does feel familial, or like even this could be like an ex or a spouse or a more intimate relationship. It could also be simultaneously happening with someone who is family, and feeling like there's also someone who like you chose to partner with, and that you might be noticing that what led you to that partner kind of and then just choosing to make your own decisions regarding what you do next, which is a great place to be in. I do want to say, I think that there are some like good memories coming back. There's a energy here of maybe reminiscing in like old times and kind of when we were younger, and just like where there was a little bit more innocence to a situation, and wanting to lean into that. And I wonder if it feels like you pretty much are very present. So I don't think this is you like escaping from something. I'll say it could be, because I don't know everyone here, personally in all your situations. But what it feels more like is that you've cleared your own energy of the things that don't work for you within it. And you're actually, because of that, able to see more of the good things from your past and like walk with that energy and the things that are benefiting you more so than the things that are they're like plaguing you, but they're not really plaguing you. They're plaguing someone else, and it's having an effect on you. And I think that you don't have any control over that except for how you spend your time there. So it's almost like you might have felt like you've been just really fighting this uphill battle up until now, where you were always trying to like mitigate your responses and reactions to someone else's like storm. And instead of them just like learning to find peace in it, you had to learn to find peace in your own storm, right? Because just to be completely transparent, is if you feel like someone's doing that to you, you're probably doing it to someone else. Like, not in a rude way or shameful way or anything. It's just we project a lot. And so the moment where we really are like in our truth is where we're just claiming what we are. We're just owning it, and it doesn't have to be all positive. It just has to resonate with us truly, So I think that like in a way you were waiting for someone else to take care of their stuff so that it would affect you less. And what you've actually realized is that by you taking care of yourself, you actually solve that problem. You have more control over what's happening in your life and your own responses and reactions to life. And you might also notice some tension ease within other dynamics in your life, where maybe if something else was at the forefront, now like you can come through and now you can be present in those dynamics. And you're kind of just choosing yourself here. I think that's actually, I want to get this. You're kind of just choosing yourself here, and it's like oddly peaceful. I know that there's more to it than that, but I feel like it's ultimately creating peace, even if each step of that process isn't feeling the smoothest, you know? Okay, Samaritan, the light attribute refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. Shadow attribute, exacting appreciation and recognition for the help you offer. Okay. Let's see what's at the bottom here. Storyteller, ability to experience and express life through stories and symbols, and making up tales that harm others. Okay, so I kind of see where this is going. I'm going to pull some cards. Okay, so one energy I'm picking up on that I think these cards are talking about is that, like, it's like talking about and defining what's been happening within self feels very peaceful. Feels like a regained sense of control, and like feeling more confident in your decisions and what you've been doing up until this point, and like where you're at right now. There is, though, this energy of like, well, why did that bring relief? Like, and how one thing I noticed personally is that when that brings relief, it immediately alerts me to the fact that I was stressed out before. So I'm sitting here going like, well, why am I stressed out if everything's going well? And so as I'm drawing these cards, I'm going, that's probably what our challenge is, or what we're working through at this time, is like, what is it that makes us look at something and feel the need to like focus on what's not going right? And what are we learning? Like, what's that step to moving forward to just try to see things without, honestly, it feels like guilt present, or like, it feels like a conditioning of, if you're not being completely of service to others or doing everything you can, or like if you're ever being selfish, which can also be healthy, like just spending time on yourself, working on yourself, getting your own needs met, like all the good things that like a healthy selfishness does for you and the people around you. It almost feels like there might be a belief that that's something that isn't accepted by others in you. And I think where this is heading is like, you could have felt like you were in a position before where whenever you chose to help someone else, you felt like these bad things would kind of unfold within that, and you would like notice their behavior and how it affected you, but you couldn't quite define that for yourself. So you just didn't really, it was like chaos just being in someone else's energy and then almost adopting that energy and walking forward with it, which is tricky because it's not an energy you can change in them. So it's going to keep coming at you and it's going to feel like it's in you after a while, when really your energy is just learning to put up a measure of protection around yourself. And so like it feels like maybe you entered into things and like, you know, things are okay. Like, I'm tolerating this. Oh, there's a red flag. I'm going to overlook that. Oh, I'm going to talk about this. I'm going to bring something up. Oh, it got swept under the rug. Like, you know, like kind of this unfolding of making excuses for someone else, and why you didn't feel it was okay to stand up for yourself and say, like, this isn't working for me, you know? And I think because you didn't have that, you hadn't learned that, I guess, skill, ability, confidence, validation, whatever it took to get for you to get to that point. What would happen is you would interact with people who would really disturb your peace, and then you would get almost mad at them. Like, you'd go, you know, just need to get away, and then like a little fight would start conjuring in your mind about what they were doing, and it almost becomes like, feels like they're personally attacking you, and then you got to like kind of attack back. I think that's what used to happen, and now what's able to happen is like, because you're able to identify your needs and get them met and identify your limits and set boundaries so that you can function as you choose to, not just as a lifeline for someone else. That you've actually like developed something within yourself where you can talk about these things and like shed light on them for other people, or you have a way of like somehow reaching, you know, either an audience or just this, if this is like people in your day-to-day life, you have a way of reaching out to them in a way where you're kind of extending this knowledge too. So either you're treating them in a certain way and kind of accounting for their emotions to be there, and you're giving them time and space to process things, and you don't come off with an energy of like do this or else, or like, you know, I'm in control of you somehow. You like really have freedom and space about you. And I think that other people are going to really see that when you are managing your own responses to other people's energy. And they're probably going to feel like you're gossiping, or you're just kind of, you know, not handling something as well as you. I don't know if it's as well as you could be. It's almost like they're probably just going to feel a little bit like, oh, they're just really upset with someone else. Like something kind of got their goat, but it seems small. Like, why are they so upset about this? They're usually so okay with everything and stuff. So like, people are going to receive your energy in that way if you're not managing it, you know? And not for shame or guilt or anything like that, but just to say, like, if you want to be in healthy dynamics with those people, one thing that you can kind of take a look at is like, well, what helps me to do that? Because sometimes we don't choose to set a boundary for ourselves, but like when it comes to our kid or a friend or something, we'll happily set a boundary and support them in creating one. So just remember that, like if you feel like you're pushed to do something that's just going to disturb you, one way of feeding the good dynamics in your life is to just say no. It affects what flows from you, right? That kind of went in a direction I wasn't really expecting it to, but I guess it came out, so there it is. The other thing is refines your capacity to help those you would prefer to ignore. I think that's what you're doing when you've managed this energy. I think you're at this point where you do understand like who's got good energy, who's got energy that disrupts my peace. And I guess maybe not good energy, just who has energy where I can be me and show up as I am. And like, that it's what I'm choosing to move towards is supported and understood, even if it means that they're doing something that's crossing my boundary. Like they understand that I'm not trying to hurt them by setting a boundary. They understand that I'm just trying to help myself and that I would support them in the same thing. I think that you're in an energy where you can identify who is who and where your energy is going to go when you're interacting with them. Your cue or your trigger, you'll notice when you are doing things just to like appease everyone, is just going to be that you feel like you're not being recognized. You feel like you're not being seen or validated for what you've been trying to do. And I think that's just a point where you'd be like, all right, my energy to them, there needs to be a boundary there that I'm allowed to set, and I can always remove the boundary. But for now, for where I'm at today, a boundary would be helpful there, because what you're going to notice is like that you get to this point where you feel like, wow, I've really grown. I've really stepped into, advocating for myself and believing in myself. And then you're going to have like these off days or these like bad decisions that like sabotage you. And you're going to be like, oh, I thought I grew from that. Like, oh, I thought I was past that. And I think that that's where a lot of this stress can come from, is feeling like you're backsliding or like you never made any progress to begin with. And I just want to say, like, progress is incorporating something new over time, more and more. It does not negate that the other thing is still there. It's just whichever one you choose to pick up daily, more regularly, is going to be the more dominating energy. So, like if you feel like you're having a bad day or like you're not setting your boundaries or whatever it is, it's just a cue to be like, hey, you deserve love too. Hey, like you're not crazy, you're not unrealistic, you're not like unhelpful or trying to sabotage other people or gossip about them or whatever. Like that's not your personality. That's what happens when you feel you're not supported as a person, or when you feel like you're not standing up for yourself. That's the cue to then limit your energy around other people, to speak up and, set your boundary if you need to, if you're unable to just, make the decision that you can emotionally detach around them. So you're doing great. It's just like great doesn't have to look like 100% changed. Great can look like I've incorporated 20% of my goal into my day-to-day in the last like 2 months. That's better than not ever doing it. That's actually getting you to feel better in this life and do better in this life and like go and chase your dreams and be who you choose to be, not who you feel you have to be in reaction to life, you know? So let's get one of these guys. Okay. We have the cobra and then tarantula. Lots of fiery energy here. You've got the cosmic egg that came out in the reverse. But the cool thing about these spirit cards is that when a spirit card comes out, it means you've already demonstrated and kind of like stepped into that energy. It just, you might need a reminder of something, you know? I'm going to start with this and then I'll get to these. So whenever I have these cards, I have them all, there's reversals and there's uprights, because in this deck, there's like when in balance and when out of balance. Little, like, how do I show you this? There's traits for when this energy is in balance and traits for when the energy is out of balance. So if it shows up in the reverse, it's probably out of balance. But these are like energies that you're mastering right now. And then this is an energy that you've mastered in some way, but that it might feel out of balance right now. Completion, harmony, the infinite within the finite. The cosmic egg is the final card in the journey of the animal spirit deck, and it represents the unfolding of cosmic consciousness. This state emerges after we have tread the path for quite some time, and through self-effort and grace, we experience self-realization. A sense of contentment and oneness spontaneously arises within us, and the veils of our self-limiting beliefs are lifted. When the essence of the cosmic egg has not been activated, we may feel as if we will never get there, or that we travel alone, disconnected from others. Even if our encounter with this card is brief, appearing as a momentary glimmer or flash of interconnectedness, its potent energy stays with us. The cosmic egg is a remedy for the fragmentation of modern life. It's through the power of this card that we are reminded of the cosmic contract written at the beginning. We hold on to life, and life holds on to us. The journey is complete, but it does not end. The cosmic egg and the 7th chakra. Sorry, curiosity. The subtle essence of the cosmic egg resides at the crown chakra at the top of the head, called I think it's like Sahasrara. Write in the comments how to pronounce that correctly if you know. One of the aims of yoga and meditation practice is to channel energy from the base of the spine upward towards Sahasrara. Each of the 6 lower chakras plays an important role along this journey, and once the final epicenter of consciousness is activated, it is said to radiate the light of 1,000,000 suns. So that's cool. I think it's just, it's that, to me, it's almost like the defining, I guess, the defining of how everything is connected, when we can't see that it always has been. That's like the most peaceful place for me to exist in, is just kind of like everything's been in its place, you know? The whole time I've been thinking that it needed to be changed and that I was responsible for every single one of those changes. I think that's why it's peaceful for me, because it's the moment of relief, like, you know, that life does work in our favor, and that ultimately, if you look at life for what it is, just point blank, it feels really chaotic and kind of off its rocker. But if you look at life in a way relative to how you grow more into yourself, it's always aiding that. It's always bringing you somehow closer to your truth. And I really do believe that being connected to our own personal truth and finding the courage to get there is the only kind of peace that's like real. When we resonate with who we are, and when we can walk with that. Because what I find when I don't have that, when I don't resonate with who I am, it just causes like cloudy thinking, and, you know, a lack of being able to make a decision, and poor judgment, and then it just spirals from there, you know, and creates a lot of self-judgment, and then creates a lot of tension with other people, because it's just constant misunderstanding. And then once I realize, like, oh, if I understand myself better, I actually understand all of this a lot better too. Like, it's not as much work as I thought it was. I don't know. Maybe that's just me. Okay, I'll stop yapping about that. We've got the cobra and the tarantula, both kind of in the same elements. Not kind of, definitely. Tarantula, at a crossroad, claiming life's purpose. Hold on. The tarantula represents a moment when a great decision must be made. It involves prioritizing your life's deeper purpose, or dharma. A habit or routine from the past is sidetracking you from your dream, yet a voice inside keeps begging you to refocus your attention. In order to find true happiness, you must choose dharma. Until you do, satisfaction will be fleeting. The tarantula hovers, patient and calm, like an old friend that knows your inner soul. It already knows you'll choose wisely. When in balance, follows intuition. When out of balance, hesitates and over-intellectualizes. To bring into balance, this is just suggestion, this isn't do or die, daily journaling. I guess that could be said for the whole reading. Take what resonates, and don't take on things that don't, you know? I find it so interesting that, like, one of my friends' friends made this deck, and I have no idea who they are, but my friend said that she knew her like in school or something. I think it's wild that like just some random person can create a deck with so much insight. Isn't that kind of wild? Okay, so the cobra. Pausing, waiting, and the inner teacher. The cobra represents a teacher or spiritual guardian. The cobra hovers and watches, ever present, ever protecting, ever loving. The essence of the cobra is found deep within us in the form of the inner teacher and manifests externally in those special guides who've led us along our path. What would it feel like to be a student again? What are you ready to learn? Remember the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. When in balance, a student of life, humble and wise. When out of balance, a know-it-all and egocentric. To bring into balance, take a class or study. Okay. I also feel the need to say this because it just popped into my head is if you've been wanting to like journal or try therapy or do something where you're expressing your innermost thoughts, or you've been wanting to take a class or study up on something, research something, and you keep telling yourself it's a waste of your time or there's no time for it, I think this is the sign of like, hey, it's okay to carve out like, an hour or something of a day and see where that takes you. Because that might be more your intuition. It might be your intuition trying to help you out instead of like a distraction, like an unwelcomed distraction or something that's going to take away from your other responsibilities or something. Because to me it looks like the repeating practice or thought or whatever it is that keeps sabotaging you isn't that you're picking up needless things that you're actually interested in. Is that you picking up things that you have no interest in being in, but you're still trying to be of service when you also feel stressed in the background and there's like a whole you that wants to be addressed, So that's what I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed that, and yeah, I'll see you in the next video. All right, bye-bye.